Alright, so I am back in the same river valley that I came to a few weeks ago to make my first video. And this time I'm going to be staying lower in the valley, closer to the valley floor where the main river is, which is the Nooksack River. And I want to do some more off-trail exploring, paralleling some small creeks, looking for any kinds of potential signs of Sasquatch, and looking for wildlife sign as well. Going to do some more thorough documentation of the various tree, plant, and mushroom species. So yeah, see what I can find today. So taking my time coming down this gravel road a little ways. This right here is the small stream that I want to follow. I'm going to parallel it downstream a little ways. Try to follow it all the way to the main river. So off the trail I go. I definitely love exploring like this. Going off trail, trekking through the woods, looking for wildlife, seeing what I can find. Off-trail exploration is definitely one of the more fun aspects of Sasquatch research for me. Much higher odds of finding signs of wildlife and seeing wildlife when you go off trail. And I would imagine a much higher chance of having a Sasquatch encounter as well, and finding any trace physical evidence of Sasquatch. So many ferns, lots of moss. It appears to be mostly western hemlock in here. So one possibility that really intrigues me about the Sasquatch phenomenon, and one that I've been thinking a lot about for several months now, and that is the idea that Sasquatches have really adapted a high level of sensitivity towards electromagnetic frequencies, and possibly can even utilize or manipulate them to some degree, which might go a long ways towards explaining their ability to avoid electronics and cameras. And it could even go as far as to maybe even explaining the whole telepathy, mind speak phenomenon that you sometimes hear about people experiencing in conjunction with Sasquatches. Which, that in particular, the mind speak thing, for most people, it's going to definitely sound very far-fetched, but I think there is a basis for it in science, because I know that our brain cells, the neurons, use electrical and chemical signals to communicate, which means that much of our thinking and the way our brain works is electrical in nature. I think it's as far-fetched as it may seem, it's an intriguing possibility that I would really like to dive deeper into, and like to test that hypothesis. So when I do find a good area for Sasquatch research where I'm getting lots of activity. I can try different things with electronics and cameras and really see what happens and just see how the activity changes when I use cameras versus turning them off. And I have heard also from lots of stories from researchers where electronics just seem to malfunction and not work as they should whenever there's Sasquatches around and there's lots of activity. So the whole Sasquatches being well adapted to electromagnetic frequencies is something that it's a hypothesis that I'd like to test, because I guess at this point we really just don't know. I think it's worth pursuing. Well, I've pretty much made it to the main river. It's way down over there, but I cannot really get down to it because the bank right here is pretty much a straight drop off down to about, say, down about 30 feet. Can't really get down that. It's a very steep bank. There was lots of flooding in this area last fall, so not really surprised. Right here, I found what appears to be bear scat. It looks like it's been eating lots of very fibrous planty material, so don't see any berries or anything in it. So I'll just keep paralleling this for a bit, and I want to find an area somewhere around here with lots of different plants and hopefully some mushrooms, so that I can take some photos of them for documentation. Really figure out what all the different plant species are in this area, along with different mushrooms and trees. Just keep looking around and see what I find. Hello, Mr. Red Squirrel. Or Mrs. Red Squirrel. Definitely doesn't like me this close. Well, it didn't actually take me that long to find a way down. Right over here. It's not as steep, not nearly as steep as it was over there. But pretty much down at the valley bottom now. There's a lot more green vegetation, so I'm gonna find a nice spot somewhere around here where I can find a large variety of plant species, trees and mushrooms as well, that I can take some pictures of for documentation. I did not see what bird that was, but I think it was a grouse. By the way, see if I can find a nice spot to document plant life around here. Well, I have found a pretty good spot to take multiple high-resolution photos with this DSLR camera of all the different tree and plant species that are around here. just a good amount of them. And because I want to build up a good database of useful information, learn more about all these different plants and trees and mushrooms and such. It'll be very important for research. Build a database like that. Alright, time to take some pictures. Well, I have finished taking lots of photos of plants and trees and stuff down by the river, but I've got all of this craziness to navigate through, trying to head back to the road. Thick with these large fern bushes, got a lot of these saplings, and then a lot of fallen logs, fallen trees. And trying to hike through this stuff is a bit of a workout. Alright, well, gotta keep navigating my way through this and try to get back to the road. Well, I managed to find my way back up to the road again. And now I am upslope, about 100 yards from the road, because I wanted to do a wood knock or two, but I can't seem to find any nice hardwood branches to knock with, so I think I'll just do one or two loud claps, see if I can get any kind of response. Well, appears to be no response, so not sure there's any around, or they're laying low. Well, I've done as much exploring for today as I wanted to do, and unfortunately I didn't find much of anything. I found just one pile of old bear scat. Didn't find any elk or deer sign, nothing that was fresh. Maybe some old bedding sites, but that was it pretty much. No potential Sasquatch sign, and I didn't even get any eerie feelings or feelings of being watched. Didn't hear any rock clacking or wood knocks, whoops, howls, any kind of percussives or vocalizations, stuff like that. So I think next time I need to switch tactics a little bit and try exploring a higher elevation area, more up in the Alpine, because it is getting into midsummer now. So and last time I did see some sign of deer and those two potential tracks as I was heading up the ridge. So, and the deer scat that I found that time and the tracks, potential tracks, looked to be a few weeks old, which may indicate that some of the wildlife, deer and elk, and potentially Sasquatches, have moved to higher ground for the summer. That's at least my best guess right now, so the search continues.